Recently, a woman left a comment after an article called Five Myths About No-Fault Divorce by Stephen Baskerville in response to another comment somebody had made about the need for equal custody. And here's what she said: "Believe me, your rules, although appearing to be very good, would never work in most cases." She's talking about equal custody. "They fail to take in the reality in divorce cases. I had been out of work for 14 years when my husband abandoned me," she says. "How would I have supported myself at the time of separation? It's taken me 3 years plus a university graduate degree to just get started again. Secondly, I suggest you speak to kids who live in 2 homes. I have not met a child who likes this arrangement. Children are not stupid. They are well aware of the parent who abandoned them, and it's often very difficult to convince them that this person still loves them. Their actions do not validate the words spoken." Well, my response to her is, if you don't like the principle of equality, I suggest you find another country where slavery is legal. You, that is the lady who made, the anonymous lady who made the comment, she made the choice not to have an occupation to fall back on before her ex left her. Everyone should be prepared for such occurrences. What gives any adult the right to expect another adult partner to continue supporting him or her if one partner decides to move on? Life has no guarantees and is full of risks, ups and downs. Somehow she was able to get herself through college. I wondered if her ex had to pay for that. A graduate degree, no less. Well, any person who wants to keep the current system of denying one parent, which is what her implication was, denying one parent his or her God-given right, those which the Declaration names, to equality, including equality of parental rights, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, regardless of any breach of a so-called marriage contract, to me is a tyrant and does not understand the principles upon which this country was founded, primarily equality. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. And now, of course, we mean that's men and women, not just men. That's self-evident. If I get married, have kids, then my wife goes off with another man, that is indeed terrible for me and the kids. God hates divorce. It says so in the Bible. So do I. Divorce is a very impractical solution for most people. But no way would I seek to deny, in the example I just gave, equal parenthood to the ex who, in the example, left me, because she would still have those God-given rights that I just named. And unless she were convicted by a jury of her peers in a criminal court of some crime deeming her unfit to parent, she would still have that right. It's a God-given right. You can't contract it away any more than you can contract away your rights in the Bill of Rights. These rights were there before the Constitution. They're self-evident. We were endowed with them by our Creator. That's what the founders of this country believed. The government would have no basis for denying her God-given right, were she to leave me in that example. I would not seek to deny her of the right to equality. She wants to leave, that's terrible. Doesn't mean she doesn't deserve to be divorced from her child, my child. How can people think that way? I don't get it. You think a child is a piece of property? What's the matter with you? We are born with those rights. The government does not give us rights and has no rights to give. We, the people, grant government certain limited privileges and responsibilities. The U.S. Constitution defines what the government can and cannot do, mostly what it cannot do. It's restrictive. The government cannot legally take away our right to be a parent. It's a fundamental right, without a compelling state interest, such as a showing of harm to a child, which would be a crime. This is what the federal case law shows. The states ignore those precedents. The federal courts, the Supreme Court. How do the states get away with it? Neither should any contract deny God-given rights, fundamental rights. You cannot contract away God-given, unalienable rights. They're unalienable, unless there's a showing of harm that you have done to a child. So I just don't understand those who whine about no-fault divorce as if fault divorce was a good thing. Punishing an, quote, at fault, unquote, but otherwise fit and caring parent by denying him or her equality of parenthood is unconscionable. Any faulted parent who would seek to impose a penalty against an at-fault parent by divorcing him or her from a child and then seek to exact extortion from the at-fault parent to support the child is, along with any judge who would do so, a kidnapper, an extortioner, a slave master, a tyrant, and an enemy of the U.S. Constitution, the principle of equality, God-given, unalienable rights.